Sir, and this is Green Watch. Today we'll be talking about Quanell X, a controversial figure in our community. There's been some serious allegations of misdeeds committed by him. Here today to talk about this is Leslie Bradley, Mary Wiltz, and Naisha Guy. They are all organizers who have come together to organize against Quanell X and to let the community know about what he's done. Anyway, can y'all tell me about who Quanell X is?
Well, Quanell X to me is one of the world's biggest fraud, aside of Madoff. Just like him, no different. Mm-hmm. He'll feed you a dream, he talks so fast and make you believe things that are not possible. Afterwards, at the time you may think so, but Quanell speaks to you as sincerity and everything in the beginning. But once he gets your money, he's gone. He acts like he's an attorney. He acts like he's the answer to your question, the one that you've been looking for. I mean, he perpetrates the fraud, really. He really does. I mean, for me, on my behalf, I already have an attorney. So I seeked help to get media attention for my husband's case. And he charged me $3,500 just to get the media to go into Harris County Jail to speak to my husband. And he never showed up. He never showed up. Once he got the money, and it was like he never responded to the calls anymore. He never responded to the text messages. You know, at first he was like a few days later, he would respond, oh, well, I'm working on it. Oh, I got this. Oh, I'm taking care of this. I'm doing all kind of excuses. But he never could answer my question, when are the media going to come and speak with my husband? Because he's still here on an appeal. So all we needed him for was media attention. We never got it. So I'm out of $3,500 and I want my money back because he didn't do anything. He doesn't deserve my money. Mm. And that's pretty much it for me.
What was your experience, Mary?
Well, I'm Mary Wilson. When I first called Mr. Quanell, it was I needed advice, and I was told that he was an attorney, so when I emailed him on a Saturday morning telling him my situation about, you know, I'm about to lose custody of my child, can you help me? And of course he called me right back. And he told me to tell him my situation, so I started explaining what was going on, and I felt like I was railroaded and these people were trying to take my child. So he said, I said, are you a lawyer? So he said, yes, I am a lawyer and I can help you. So he said, well, how much? He said, I'm gonna need $7,500 for you to come up with. So he said, how soon can you get that, you know? I said, well, just give me a couple of days and then, you know, I would try to raise the money. So once I did raise the money, he said we were gonna go forward with the case. So I'm assuming he's a lawyer because he told me he was, so I felt like he was gonna help me get my child back. So after maybe a couple of months down the road, he said he was referring to different attorneys about my case and then that he was gonna need some more money. So I was like, well, how much more are you gonna need? So he told me, well, I'm gonna need another $7,500. And he said he had been talking to the judge and he was getting information from the previous lawyers that I had, and he felt like I had a good case and a good chance to get my child back, because he said the people that they gave my child to, that, you know, that they knew the judge and that they had paid the judge, you know, when she ran for campaign previously, Judge Couture, that they had gave her money for her, you know, campaign. So therefore, these people that took my child from me, Melanie and Jack Burnsmeyer, they made sure they had that judge for my case. And because Quanell X taken $17,500 of my money, he never did nothing for my case. He told me he had filed an appeal, that we had a 90-day extension with the judge. He had talked to her and everything, but come to find out, he had never did anything. All he did was take my money, and because of him, I lost my child.
I am so sorry to hear that. I can't think of anything more traumatic or distressing than losing a kid, losing your child. Thank you for being here today and sharing your story with us. It's important that people know about that this kind of thing can happen to you. And just to be clear, Quanell X is not a lawyer in the state of Texas.
Correct.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, my situation, he also took money from me as well. I was in need of his help because I had a friend who was wrongly charged with aggravated robbery. He was nowhere near the scene, didn't even fit the description, but because of his prior convictions, he was, they put him in jail in Montgomery County. And so anybody knows that Montgomery County, that's like a hard county to even come out of when, as far as like when criminal activity is going on. So I called Quanell X up. Like Miss Leslie stated, he told me as well to start my case will be a $3,500 fee. He asked me, well, how soon can you meet me to pay me the money? The same day I called him up is the same day I met him with the money. Once I gave him the money, nothing happened. He went and visited my friend for about 5 minutes, didn't even ask him any details about what was going on, didn't speak to the proper officials that he promised to speak to on our behalf and my friend's family. And thank God that my friend, after serving 8 months in Montgomery County Jail, he was released because they found him not guilty. But the fact of the matter is, I was looking for media help. I was looking for help from Quanell and his staff, and he just basically took my money and ran off with it too. I would call him, he wouldn't answer. I would text him, he would barely respond. It would be like off and on things, you know. And when I started talking about my money being refunded and so forth, he's such a swift talker that he will change the conversation quickly and throw something else at you. And because you're already under the stress of the situations that are going on, you know, you think it sounds good, but it was just all lies. I mean, people work hard for their money. It wasn't easy for her to come up with $17,500. That's a lot. She gave more than I did, but it wasn't easy for me as well and Miss Leslie to give up our $3,500. You know, we have family, we have kids, we have people that depend on us, and I just feel like I trusted him, I believed in him, and he took a lot out of me and from me because I worked day and night to get that money to give him, let alone being a single mother and still trying to take care of my family and my children and provide as well as help out my friend, and I didn't get nothing. But it's just like I just handed over a free check to somebody who didn't care about me, who didn't care about these ladies. And it's more people out there who he didn't care about as well, that he took their money, but some people are scared to speak up. Others are, because they did give him their last, they don't have money to file a civil suit or anything to get their money back. And he basically put everybody in a financial bind, and I want my money back and I want justice for everybody.
So it kind of sounds like he was preying upon the weak and the vulnerable within the community, people who didn't really know any better and trusted someone in their community to help them out of a serious situation. It sounds in all of your cases where you were really in desperate need and kind of felt you were almost underwater, not knowing what to do in a situation, looking for someone to help you, and then being caught in a scam or a fraud.
Right.
On top of everything else that was happening.
Right, and he doesn't even have an office. That's the killer part. He doesn't have an office. He meets everybody, Starbucks or in a parking lot, come meet me in my car. He doesn't have a place, and on his so-called contract that he has, that's a fake contract to begin with, when you look up the address, it's at a vacant lot. There's nothing there. I mean, it's just a vacant lot. And I'm like, well, where is your office? Oh, well, my office is being redone right now, or I'm moving offices, in anything, you know, that he would say just to throw that off. But he doesn't even have a stable place to carry or to run a business. So he's just really getting money from people and he's gone. You know, that's ridiculous.
And it's crazy because he does like a controversial, show on Fox 26 News. I even emailed people at that news station, didn't get a response from nobody. I emailed other people that I thought that could help me, and me not knowing that it was others out there like me that he took from. And it was just disappointing. I mean, that's just wrong, Like I stated before, we all work hard for our money, and it's like he doesn't have to work hard with his money. All he has to do is
Lie.
lie or use a slick mouth and just
lie.
get you when you're down and just taking, and it's not right. It's really not right. And I just want justice or my money back, Like, it was easy for me to give him my money, but when I want it back, it's
Not
nothing.
easy.
I have to pull teeth out to get it back, and it's just not right, and it's not fair.
I had also received a call from a young lady, I want to say about a month and a half or so ago. And she's disabled. She's a student at the University of Baylor University. She also contacted me and said that Quanell had stole her money because he never responded. I believe they paid as a down payment $1,500. And I said, Quanell will steal from anybody, whether you're blind, whether you're slow, whether you have mental issues, anything that has green money in their hand, he's going to take it. Or just a little conversation just to make you think, oh, well, I can do this, I can do that. Oh, he's going to take your money. He has taken a lot of people's money. And I also wanted to mention Nate Lewis is another victim, and he's got a civil suit against Quanell. And we're asking that everybody, all the people that have issues with Quanell, to show up there. And it's going to be on the 31st in the morning of October. And it's at the Harris County, right off of, Clayton, by going towards the airport, Bush Intercontinental, the Harris County Courthouse right there. Yeah. That's where it's going to be for Nate Lewis. And we're just asking that everybody show up that has had issues with him, so you can also understand and let the jury know, because we're all going to file civil suits against him. Because we want our money back. We need our money back. It's not fair for him to have it. And on top of that, if he doesn't give me my money back voluntarily, he's going to either pay me or he's going to pay the IRS, because I will send a 1099 to him of how much money I paid him. So he can't get away from Uncle Sam. He may be able to get away from us, but he can't get away from Uncle Sam. No way.
And the only other thing I would like to say is that, Quanell, I hope you sleep good at night, because it's been 2 years since I've seen my child, and his sister's 13 years old, and she suffers from depression because she hasn't seen her brother.
She sure does.
It's very understandable.
It's hard.
I'm sure it's very...
And all I would like to say is that I want my money back, and I want justice for what you've done to all of us. You think because we're single women that we didn't know better? Well, at the time I didn't. I just wanted my child back. So you knew what I was going through, but yet you still took my money knowing that you were not an attorney, that you couldn't help me. So I won't stop until I get my money back.
So how were y'all introduced to Quanell X? How did you meet him and get kind of roped into this in a way?
Well, I met him because my husband told me, he said, why don't you get in touch with Quanell and see if he can get the media to come talk to me since I'm here in Harris County. Because we're fighting a wrongful conviction case for my husband, because the DNA came back as not his, and the fingerprint that the Harris County detective, Sherry Brown, said that she found on the trailer. First she said she found it on the outside or whatever. Well, anyway, after whatever she did, when our DNA came back that it wasn't his, that's why we seek Quanell, just for the media attention. Mm-hmm. So once we seeked his attention, he went to go talk to my husband the first day. And once he talked to him, that was it. He didn't see him no more. He got the money and he was gone. And like I told him, I texted him, hey, I don't play with my money. I don't play with my husband. I don't play with my family. Either you're going to do what you're supposed to do. If you're not, I'm not going to just let up. And then so I started, I talked with Ricky Jason at that time, and we had gotten together in Beaumont and started a little rally in front of the courthouse. And I guess these ladies, I don't know if they had contacted Ricky, and she contacted me. Miss Guy contacted me. And I don't know if you contacted Ricky or did he contact you?
I saw it on the news.
You saw it? Okay.
So I decided to show up.
And and there was some other people that showed up as well. Miss Hilda Spradley's daughter showed up for her, and Harold Roberts showed up. I don't remember the other people. There's a few people that showed up for that. And so from that point on, when Channel 13 News and a bunch of other stations came to Beaumont, and they spoke with us, and our news media there spoke with us, and she was like, well, Leslie, there's no fee for us to come talk to you, which I didn't know. You know, reason being, like Miss Guy said, because he's on Fox 26 News. So we were like, maybe he can get the media to come talk to him. How much is that going to cost us? So how are you going to charge for somebody else's services that you have no control over? So all of this stuff is coming to play now. So then after that meeting, we had another one in Houston in front of the courthouse, another rally. And she had contacted Miss Guy, but she couldn't come out on that day because of her job. She's steady working to try to make up her money that she's lost and paid him. And a lot of other people, Charles something came, Mr. Lee came, Veronica Cooper.
Right.
And several people came, they showed up. There was other people, Tedros showed up, or his girlfriend did, Crystal, and Miss Tamara, and several other people. I can't remember everybody, but there was quite a bit of people that showed up. And we had done a couple of rallies, and, you know, we called Quanell out to come out. And, of course, he never showed. You know, he didn't, and he made the statement that we women were calling him and threatening him. So we're like, really? Well, show the phone. Let's see the proof. Because after we stopped calling him months ago, you know. So, I mean, he wasn't responding. We're not going to threaten you. We just want our money back. You know, whatever. We don't make threats. We're just asking for our money. Because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. So, I mean, and then Miss Guy was very upset. It was hard to get her, but she's here.
Yeah.
You know, she has to work a lot, so.
I have a lot of kids to take care of, including myself. And like I said, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me to just give him my money. That's just horrible. It's very horrible, and it's a disgrace to us as single women and married ones as well. It's a disgrace to the community because he promotes himself as an activist. An activist speaks for the community.
They don't charge.
They don't charge you, and they get down to the problem and they get it solved. But apparently, he is just a big scheme. Anybody that's working for him or that's on his side, they're frauds as well because they know what he's doing to people. But he has so much power that people are scared. They're scared, but we're not, and we're gonna fight, and we're not gonna give up. And I'm gonna continue on participating as much as I can to help out myself and these ladies as well, and to the community too. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Something has to be done. He's been doing this for years. We're not the first. We're not the last.
That's right.
But
Not.
the difference between us is we have a voice, and we're gonna speak up, and we want justice. We do. We want justice, or we want our money back. I mean, times are hard right now, and it's just sad that how you can trust somebody and you get nothing. You just get nothing.
Yeah, the amounts you're talking about, that's normally people's savings, you know, total amount of their savings. Or their rent payment or car payment or something like that. I mean, it's a lot of money to most people. And Do you think there's an additional level of anguish over it being perpetrated against his own kind of community he's come from? That there's an extra level of anguish there?
I heard back in the day that he stayed in a lot of trouble. So, I mean, I know it now, but I didn't know it before. They said he had been in trouble with the law. So, I don't know, I guess since after what happened with him, he came up and tried to perpetrate himself like, you know, he's a changed man and he went to law school. Now he has his law degree when all along he was lying. And I heard he's living in I don't know how much his house costs, $1 million home in Pearland. He has 7 or 8 vehicles. But the only reason why he has all those vehicles in that nice house because he's been scamming everybody. Quanell X, you can't keep doing this to people. You can't keep hurting women. You're hurting people all over the world. And from what I'm hearing, it's not just Houston. It's Lake Charles, New York, Atlanta. I heard you travel. You're using our money, our hard-earned money, to take vacations and laugh about what you're doing to us. So it has to stop, and it has to stop now.
Yes.
You've said a lot about him targeting women, especially. Do you think he goes after women, single women especially, as they're in a more vulnerable position?
Right.
If we call him, I mean, he's
That
like,
as well, you know, like if you call him and you're needing his help. And it's a few guys too. We've met
old people.
several of older people, elderly people. The only reason why I say elderly is because they're older than me. But, I mean, he gets people in a vulnerable state. You know, when you don't have, you think you have a shoulder to cry on, you think you have help, okay, well, Quanell gives me a sense of hope. But you get nothing.
So it's like one of the ladies, she gave up $45,000 because her son got life in prison. And he was like, oh, I can help you get that reduced. Oh, I can get him home. Much less time than that. So, you know, they fall for that. It's anything for your kids you're trying to do, you know. I mean, not realizing at that state and time in that mind frame that, you know, you don't think to go check him out, go see who this man really is. Oh, he's going to, you know, which I think with that kind of money you should, you know, kind of, wait a minute, let me see first what's going on with this. And, you know, like the old elderly couple in Newton, I mean, poor people, they're afraid to leave their house. They are so afraid to leave their house. And they contacted him to help them as well. And he doesn't care. More women, there's more of us women that he has committed fraud to us about our money. And also, like I say, sickly, elderly, and, you know, couples, you know, as well. Just to make it sound so good. And like he told me how he said, well, I'm neighbors with the DA. Oh, I can do, our kids play together, you know. You know, I don't even know him. I just know that we wanted the media attention. So, you know, he was adding on a whole bunch of stuff, you know, like making it sound even easier. Oh, that ain't no problem. Oh, me and him, we go way back, you know, because my husband and his younger brother were best friends until his brother got killed. And that's what I'm saying. He'll make it sound so good. Oh, well, I live right down the street from the DA. Oh, you know, we already know that all the DAs and all the lawyers, they all talk. You know, that's what they do, communicate. You know, so hey, but he's trying to make it seem like, oh, that's my neighbor. Our kids play together. Oh, I got this. Don't worry about it. We weren't even discussing that. All we wanted was media attention. He came with more. So, I mean, like he told her, he can help her get her baby out. I mean, bring her baby back home. I mean, he can help her friend. I mean, the other young lady, she was trying to do a lawsuit with the university. This man mate that has a lawsuit against him, he was supposed to be helping him as well with some type of something that was going on at work. I don't remember exactly. Everybody has different reasons, but all of us have communicated, all of us have came together because of Quanell. That's how we all reunited. We've put it in the paper. I've done a radio station. You know, I'm trying to spread this word. Do not trust Quanell. Do not give him anything because he is no earthly good. He is a wolf in sheep clothing is what he is. He is the serpent that God warned us about. You know, he is absolutely no good. He's out of there. But you know, you're gonna reap what you sow, Quanell. You're gonna reap what you sow. Oh yeah.
So tell me about the organizing you've done so far. How did you get in contact with each other? Because it seems that each one of you thought you were kind of a lone victim and didn't have anyone else to kind of relate to.
Well, Miss Leslie contacted me like last year, or was it the beginning of this year?
Yeah, I think you left me a message.
Uh-huh.
Right? And
Yeah,
I returned the call.
yeah, and I returned the call, and you know, she opened up to me about what was going on, a little bit about her case, and then I opened up to her, and we go, hold up, wait a minute, you know, we all have something in common. He took from us, you know, and then, you know, I started explaining to her what happened to my friend, and like I said, thank God that everything came back clear, you know, on his end, but we didn't even need help from Quanell. The court-appointed lawyer helped out more, and we didn't have to pay him anything. And I got in touch with her, and then she introduced me to Ricky, and then I got introduced to Mr. Vincent, who helped me. And I've met these ladies. Well, I met her probably about a month or so ago, Miss Rochelle. I met her and some others, and we went and we did a protest, and we yelled and we screamed. We weren't rude.
No, we weren't.
We
weren't
were,
because the police came and they didn't take none of us. So.
Yeah, they called the police on us. They had like 4 police cars lined up. I mean, they treated us like we were the problem, and actually we're the victims, you know. And we did it in a nicely manner. We did let them know that, hey, we want our money back, or at least to see one of us get something back.
Well, I know we met at Ben Hall's office. That's where we met at. We did that rally, a small like protest or whatever. And then we have somebody further down the street that's offering us to use a radio station as well to be able to do that. And people just started coming out the neighborhood, because it's a real nice neighborhood, Montrose, I think it was. Real nice neighborhood. People just started coming out with their babies, like, what's going on? What's going on? You know, we had this bullhorn hollering and yelling, you know, we want our money back, you know. Oh no, Quanell X, where did our money go? And all, you know, different things like that we're saying. But it's like, either eventually you're going to give us our money back if you want us to stop, or if you don't give us our money back, we're just not going to stop. We're going to get our money back one way or the other. If we don't, IRS is. So
you said you went to Ben Ha's office, because as you were saying, Quanell X does not seem to have a permanent location where he operates.
Right, but we found out that he works with Ben Ha. So we're not sure exactly what's going on between the two, but he's done some fraudulent things with him from what we have gathered and what we found out and what we've learned. So with that being said, we'll take them both. Either one of them can give us our money back. We don't care who it comes from, as long as we get our money. You know, so I'm sure Ben Hall got some of it too.
I agree.
Right.
Most definitely. So we're just going to continue to fight till we get our money. And we have more time than money. So it is what it is.
Do you think there are many other victims out there that just don't even know they've been a victim, or don't know that there's any kind of redress?
I believe it's thousands.
Yes.
It's thousands. I mean, the numbers can be unbelievable, because he has been doing this over a period of years. This is how he survives. This is how he takes care of his family off of our money.
Not only him, Robert Muhammad is with him too. So, because I called him. You asked Quanell to give me my money back. He didn't help. He's doing the same thing. I heard he was doing the same thing as Quanell. Birds of a feather, they flock together. So they're stealing from us, and we're trying to fight to get it back. You know, there's a bunch of us. And it's just not right, you know?
And every time you see him, it seems like he's always alone when he meets up with us. And you don't never see his family with him or anything. And he perpetrates himself like he's part of the Black Panthers, but from what I hear, they don't want to have nothing to do with him. But he wears that jacket like, you know, oh, I'm a good person, I'm part of the Black Panthers, and he rides around in all these fancy cars. But Quanell, we're going to eventually get our money back from you one way or another. If we have to sell every car you've ever owned and sell your house, we're going to get our money back.
We don't, the IRS is. I think it was the Shake Center or something like that. They had a bunch of people meeting there. I want to say maybe in 2013. And all of Quanell's people was there. Quanell was there. They were all there. And they would not let the news media in because they ended up tricking all these people thinking they're going to give them their money back, they're going to help them. They never did. It was like a closed area. They didn't let anybody in. So all them people, I wish we could get in touch with them. I've been trying to research some of these people. And I know so much about this stuff now because I've been digging in a whole bunch of stuff and asking and looking. And so that's why I found out, you know, pretty much a lot of things about it. And then I move forward with it. And I usually talk to her about it. And then I talk to our other helper that we have, you know. But like I say, those people from the Shake Center or whatever it is, they didn't stand on their own too. They, again, trusted Robert Muhammad and trusted Quanell again. No, I would never trust them again. You just, once, that's enough. No. So, I'm seeking those people because I want them also to come forward. I want everybody to try to get their money back, to try to fight against him. If we get enough lawsuits and enough money gathered, it could become federal, I'm sure, if it's enough. And what we had gathered last year was like over $150,000 that he had taken from all of us that already showed up. And that's not including them other people. They had over $50,000 on them.
That is a great deal of money. It seems that there have been attempts in the past to address issues with Quanell X, to kind of people who feel they've been defrauded. And it seems like there's these past efforts. Why haven't those past efforts succeeded, and why do you think you'll succeed in yours? Because
they're going to stop. They stopped. We're not. I mean, you got to keep going and keep, just like they say, pray, push until something happens. We're not going to stop. Now, if you stop, then nothing is going to happen. That's what the Fox News, the guy out there, he said, well, we've had allegations of this before, but nobody, no prosecution, nobody ever did anything else. They left it alone, so that's why he's still there.
Yeah, they left it alone because they probably didn't have the money to go forward. I mean, when you file civil suits or any type of lawsuits against anyone, you have to have money. You have to have a lawyer.
Everything costs.
You have to have your evidence. You have to have your proof. And it's just, it's sad. It really is. It's very, very sad. And I'm going to do as much as I can to, you know, come forth with everybody else to stand our grounds. That's what my parents taught me, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm not giving up. I can be 100 years old, and if the Lord let me
yes,
see
the Lord
that
allow
long,
us.
you know.
Yeah. One way or another, we will get our money back from you, Quanell.
That's right. We're not going to give up. That's the difference between us and them. They stopped, and they stayed in a secluded area. Their story wasn't out there. Ours is, and I'll go in every media if I have to. I'm not going to stop either. And I'll call everybody, hey, I'm going here. Let's go. Let's do what we got to do. You know, just can't give up.
So talking about the future, what do you all plan to do in the future to kind of take some steps forward and move the process forward? Are you seeking to file a suit, or you're going to keep doing a media campaign?
Both.
What are your plans?
We're going to do both. We're going to continue. We're going to file our civil suits. May file them all together, however we do it, but we're going to file them, and we're going to keep on with the media until Quanell just be like, hell, they're here. Let me write y'all shit. No, I want money. Give me a money order, a cashier's check, or cash. I don't trust your checks. You know, I want my money. We all want our money. You know, we all have bills. We have to live. You know, we're not going to stop. As God allow us, we're not going to stop.
And I think more important than even the money, I think, is a sense of justice. Feeling that you've been taken advantage of while you were in a very vulnerable position. I think you all of you here want more than the money to feel justice has been achieved.
Correct.
Right.
Let him sit behind bars so he can feel it again. He's already been gone for drugs, so, you know, it doesn't make him no better. And I didn't know that at that time, but I know now. I'm telling you, I've learned a lot about this man.
So tell me about what you would want to know then that you now know now.
That he was scamming people, he would have never got any of my money.
Yeah, and he's not a lawyer. He's only a perpetrator trying to be somebody that he's not. He's just a human being that's scamming women and scamming men. And justice needs to be served.
Yep, I feel the same way as they do. I was actually told that he was fraudulent after I paid him my money, after I got in all this mess. So I just wish I would have had better judgment. I mean, but hey, what can you do when you see him on local TV stations and then you see him helping others, high-profile cases. If your case is not high-profile, he'll take the little bit that you have
And move on.
and move on. And just think about the people that's paying him for the high-profile cases.
But a lot of times when they have them whole high-profile cases, Quanell would talk to the suspect or whatever, bring him in. Quanell gets that money because he turned him in. You think Quanell gives that money to the family? That's some more money for him. That's the only reason he does. He doesn't do it because he wants to help the police. He wants that money. And it's already been confirmed by someone else. So, keep moving.
That is shocking. So you've all told me that he has presented himself to be a lawyer, an attorney to you. There is a phone number that you can contact if someone you believe is practicing law without a license, and that's through the Texas Bar, and I'm sure we'll have that up on the screen shortly. It's the Unauthorized Law Practice Hotline. The phone number is 512-427-1341, and you can also email them at info@txuplc.org. So if there are other people watching who feel they've been taken advantage of or know someone who's unauthorizedly practicing law, they can report them free of charge to the Texas Bar. There's also, I think, some important questions you should ask anybody who's presenting as a lawyer, whether they're a lawyer or not. One of those easy ones you can ask is, what's your bar number? All lawyers in the state of Texas and really anywhere have a bar number, just like you have like your driver's license number. And you can look that person up. You can see what their name is, their address, disciplinary actions, whether they're a lawyer or not. So if they gave you a fake bar number, if you say Bobby Joe says I'm a lawyer and he gives you a bar number and it turns out to be Janie Sue's number, you know that person's not actually a lawyer or not that lawyer. So there is multiple different ways you can go about protecting yourself and warning others and reporting them to state agencies, people who you feel are fraudulently practicing law. Do you think that there should be more awareness of those type of programs
Oh,
in
yes.
the community?
Yes, should be.
Definitely.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you feel if you had access to this information that you would have acted differently, that you would have researched him?
Most definitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Most definitely. Yes.
Because that was a lot of money for me to have to come up with. And for him to just take it and not even help me, perpetrating a lawyer and he wasn't a lawyer. It was my savings.
Do you think you'll pursue more of a civil case against him, Quanell X, or have you reported him to?
We have.
Like criminal authorities?
I have. Ours would be civil because of the amount. Hers would be federal or more high because of the amount. That's what I was told. But I mean, we put it all together. Yeah.
That's incredible. People definitely need to protect themselves, even when you think you can trust somebody because they're a member of your community or they're holding them out to be part of a profession. You always want to double check that because people can say anything. People aren't really people of their word anymore. I could, say I'm president of Nicaragua or whatever. It doesn't make it true just because I said it.
Yes, that's true.
What do you think you can do in your community to prevent this from happening in the future besides just raising awareness?
And like you say, ask for the bar number. Start asking more questions, especially for whatever the need is.
Seek other legal matters if it fits your budget, because even some lawyers, they're not going to ask you for $3,500 up front. They'll give you a set price to start, and even some of them will let you make payments or let you make a payment, and then they'll show up to your court date or whatever, and then, and it goes from there. But that's not how it works with him. He just, 3,500 is the magic number. For her, it was
7,500 is the magic number.
I mean, everything ends in 500,
Right.
To begin with was 75. It ended up to be
Right.
what?
17,500.
That's a whole car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a whole car.
Yeah. I was curious as to moving forward how people can, if they find that they've been a victim, what can they do? Should they contact you? Should they just immediately call the bar hotline? Would you want them to contact you?
They can contact me, and if they're ready to jump on board and fight this long fight, because I'm fighting 2 fights, one for my husband and one against Quanell. So if they're gonna jump, and if I can fight 2, and all you have to do is fight 1, be ready is all I can say, because we move and we groove, and we're gonna get it.
I'll certainly have a great deal of enthusiasm.
Have to. You have to laugh to keep from crying. Yeah.
There are also legal aid options that people should be aware of if you do have, minor disputes, need a divorce, something, or criminal matters. You can go to Lone Star Legal Aid. And also there's various clinics around the state of Texas. I know the University of Houston Law Center has a clinic that people can go to for either no charge or a very nominal charge to get help and advice on all kinds of matters. I know they do family law, immigration, I believe civil suits as well, landlord-tenant. They've got a great program down there that people should be aware of that they can access. As well as Lone Star Legal Aid, which is also helping people all across the state of Texas, and especially in the Houston area.
And it's not just attorneys that people seek, it's the extra help and stuff that he adds on, because all I was seeking was media attention. That's it. I had an attorney for my husband already. It was just media attention. He added on the extra about being neighbors and our kids play together. And, I'm not going to leave the brother there. I'm not going to leave the brother stuck out. Oh, we go way back. And then he sat there, like trying to throw a little tears. I'm like, really? Okay. I mean, come on. We didn't ask you for anything else but media attention. And my husband always says, your word is your bond. And if you don't have a word, you have no bond. You have nothing. And he's burnt all the trust with me, and I'm sure all these ladies and everyone else that he's burned. But I just want to make it aware for everybody that we can reach not to trust him. I mean, a lady from New York, like she said earlier, has contacted me as well about that too. And her father's in another facility, old folks. It's just anybody that's willing to give him $1, he's going to take it at all costs.
Yeah. I think it's important for people to know the personal stories behind what's happened and in the emotional toll it's taken. Can you tell me about what has been the emotional impact on your daily life impact?
Well, for me, my daily life impact is I have to work so hard, and I work 12-hour shifts, that I have to be away from my kids, my family, just to try to get back on board. It has torn relationships. It has torn like family members, because I helped my friend, and then, you know, when he thought that Quanell was going to help him, he started blaming his mom, he started blaming his dad. In the process, his dad got sick, and I mean, it's just been stressful for everybody. So that's what happened on my behalf, you know. It's just torn.
Well, it's been really hard for myself and Cameron's sister, Ayana, who's 13. Since all this has happened, she suffers from depression, and she cries a lot, and she can't sleep. And I really do miss my child, and all I want is my child back home where he belongs. These people that has my child are not deserving of my child.
The impact for me is trying to get back on board, catch up on my bills, and keep moving, pretty much. I mean, because I took a lump sum out and gave it to him, and thinking that he was going to do it. Would have been beneficial, would have been worth it if he would have done it. Then, you know, I knew, hey, I got to do extra work to make this money back. Okay, that would have been okay, because he did what he was supposed to do, so he got paid for his job. But being that he didn't do it, I could use my money, because now I got to still catch back up on bills. It's just free money. You know, like she said, we don't have that kind of money to give away, you know. So that's what my daily impact is, just trying to maintain and stay above and keep working.
Why do you think he's been able to carry on with this practice for so long in the community?
Because nobody is talking. No, they're
They're
They're not
scared.
saying nothing.
Everybody's scared.
Yes.
Scared because he does know other people. I mean, you don't know who's watching you when you turn your back. You don't know, you know, who's gonna come after you, even if you try to go up against somebody with that much authority.
You talked a lot about there's a lot of fear. Is you fearing like, backlash from the community,
No,
physical attacks?
From Quanell.
from him.
He's a ruthless man. And I guess if we keep speaking up, there's no telling what he might try to do, but we're not scared of him. We have to speak up. We have to get justice. So we're going to do whatever it takes.
Do you feel that he has tried to intimidate you in any way?
Well, he intimidated me by just basically just stealing from me, you know, to go to show me, hey, I'm the big guy here, and basically like a king and I'm a peasant, you know. I mean, he's very smart. He's gonna watch what he say. He's gonna try, you know, he's not gonna threaten you. Like he's gonna talk so swift that he watches what he says so he won't contradict the matter. So that's all I have to say about him. I mean, it's just pitiful. Like, we shouldn't have to go through all this if he would have just did what he was supposed to do for each and every one of us, like he promised. You know, I'm just lost for words. I'm just lost for words. And I'm very hurt. And I'm very hurt for these ladies as well. I mean, to lose somebody that we all love. You know, my friend is free, and I can call him up, you know, but our relationship is not the same because he thought I wasn't fighting for him. But for these ladies, it's different. She has no communication with her child.
Yeah, I haven't seen my child in over 2 years. These people that have my child, they won't even let me see him. And I'm a good person, and we do love Cameron with all our heart. But these people, they're all about money. They got money, and this lady told me she had the money to fight me, and she wouldn't stop till she takes my child. She doesn't love that child. She's just doing it to hurt me.
And with Miss Leslie and her husband, I know she misses him. That's got to be very hard, you know, not being able to lay by your loved one, or, you know, just to wake up and say good morning, you know, face to face. You know,
Very hard.
I know it's very hard, and for her as well, not being able to hug her child or kiss her child before they go off to school, or have a great day and how was your day, because I'm a mother as well, and that's something I fear, of losing my kids to anything, whether it's to death or to the criminal system, or, you know, just anything. I have sympathy for everyone, and I really mean that. I really do. I mean, it's tough. Like, everybody has a story.
His MO was a drug dealer. He was a big-time drug dealer. So all the time he stayed in the penitentiary, he had plenty of time to think about another scheme. Well, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start making a name for myself. You know, obviously he had plenty of time to think about that, and that's how he's making his living now. Because he has no other job other than, I guess, Fox 26 News.
You mentioned several times that he is on Fox 26 News. Does he have a news program, or?
He does something. I'm not from Houston, so I just hear about his show that he has. I think it's is it a 30-minute or something segment? He does like an argument with someone else.
It's like a debate.
Yeah,
they
some
do
type
a
of
debate. It's basically like a debate, like the Democrats against the Republic. Lord.
And yeah, he did one the other day with a Hispanic lady about the Hispanics and the blacks. You know,
Yeah.
so it's different debates that he does.
It gets in depth. You know, race can be involved that he's trying to speak up on, and he portrays himself as if he's for the African American community, or he stands for the Hispanic community to you, or even like he's just a perpetrator. It's ridiculous. He goes back and forth with people just for you know, like to get publicized.
And that's why you were saying you had originally contacted Quanell, Leslie, was because you saw his television program.
Well, my husband did.
Your husband did.
He asked me to contact him because he was on the TV station, and, you know, he felt that he had, you know, a little access to that, to maybe he can get somebody to come and interview him about his case. You know, when we really waited till the DNA came back. Once it came back, that's when he went ahead and said, well, go ahead and call him and see. And then when he went to speak with my husband, he made it sound like, oh, yeah, you know, I can do this, I can do that. Oh, yeah, I'll get him here. And I'll see you, I'll talk with you on Sunday, brother, that's his thing, brother. You know, and he never did. He never, and then when I was calling him, he answered after the first few days, you know, he answered. But then after that, I think the last time we talked was in July. I want to say in July of 2016, I believe. And then when we started that rally with Ricky, and he seen that we posted something on Facebook, and so he immediately called me, and I want to say it was September, I think, of 2016, when he was like, oh, Sister Robert Muhammad said for me to give you a call. And I had talked to Robert Muhammad before Juneteenth. So come on now, that's game. Because you seen you being blasted on Facebook, that's what that was about.
Did you get in contact with Quanell through the TV show, or did you have someone refer you?
Well, basically, I sat down and talked with my friend's family, and we were just sitting around the table trying to just come up with ideas, because it was just a shock. Like, the way his story went was he he was portrayed by someone who had custody of his kids to, hey, you know, it was his son's birthday and he was gonna go meet them. And I mean, it's crazy. I just don't want to get into the details, but basically someone that was close to him said that he called the police and said that he fit the description of a robbery that happened in the area, and it was like no question though, when they tricked him to come and meet his son for his birthday, the police like swarmed the car and just arrested him right then and there, locked him up, didn't ask him any questions, treated him bad. And I mean, it was just horrible.
That's horrible. That is.
But I don't want to get into details about it, but
But then you contacted Quanell X after that.
yes, I did. I contacted him, and that same day he was like, well, how much money do you have? And I said, well...
Like no concern about the issue, just the money amount?
Yeah. And I said, well, you know, I need to know what it will take to get started. And he said, well, do you have $3,500? And I said, yeah, I can get $3,500. And he said, well, how soon can you get it? Because we got to get the case moving. You know, this is serious and this and that. And he said, well, can you meet me today? And I was like, yeah. And how would you like for me to give that to you? And he was like, cash. He always wants just straight cash. He doesn't want a money order. He doesn't want a check, like just straight cash. And he was like, I'll have all your paperwork once you give me the cash, your receipts and blah, blah, blah. And then once I gave him my money and started reading over the paperwork, I was like, on my paperwork, it didn't say that he was a lawyer. Like, it specifically said that he wasn't. It was just saying that he was like an activist, you know, or whatever. That he had attorneys working for him. And, but he portrayed himself as if he was one, you know. But he took my money, and like maybe like 2 weeks later he went to go visit my friend, like I said, for like not even 5 minutes, and asked him nothing, and that was it. I mean, it was just, it just took a toll on everybody.
So before we kind of wrap up the show, I'd like to again put up the bar hotline number that you can call if you feel someone is unauthorizedly practicing law, just so we can have that one more time. Also, anybody should be suspicious when anyone's asking you to pay in cash. That's normally not a good sign. And always just do your due diligence. Ask for bar numbers. Ask for the experiences of other people. You know, tell me about what you do. You know, how you know, give me a reference. And again, that number that you can call if you is 512-427-1341. And I would like to thank all of you ladies for being here from the absolute bottom of my heart to share what is clearly very emotional stories for all of you, all personal in its own way, and how you've tried to get past not only that original trauma or problem, but what seems like to be another one piled on top of that. And to come here and be brave enough to share your story with me and with all of our viewers. And I sincerely thank you for having the courage to do that.
Thank you for allowing us to come.
Thank you for having us.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you will all tune in for our next episode. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank you again for having us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
With power, here they come, international loan sharks, backed by the guns of market-hungry military profiteers, whose word is a swamp and whose brow is smeared with the blood of the poor. Who rob life of its quality.